Now we're going to take a look at the customized workflow that was put together, and you can see there's a lot more steps in here than in the seated ones. And one of the things I talked about in the abstract was the fact that changing this workflow is as easy as drawing a Visio diagram, and as that's kind of depicted here. The other thing that I want you to walk away with today, if you walk away with anything, is just the fact that we are doing this to route work simply by using the voting approval method that we have looked at before, but they're not going to say approve or reject. They're going to say I've completed my work. So we'll walk through each of the steps in this workflow just for you to get a feel of it, but there's going to be a lot of repetition because the trick is using the voting approval method to route work. So again, here we're looking at the get ECO attributes properties. Again, this is a seeded function that Oracle gives you that grabs the information from the ECO header. And the first step in this process is the engineering manager has to approve this before it goes any further. So this really is the same voting approval that we saw before. He'll either approve or reject. And if you notice now in the performer area, we're still using a type of item attribute, but now we're looking at attribute 1. That relates to the change order descriptive flex field we looked at previously, and whatever approval list is stored in that flex field will be the person or persons that get notified, and in this case have to vote, approve, or reject. And again, we see the same voting option, require all votes, and we require 100% approval. The next step in the process is the ECO administrator review. The ECO administrator in this process is making sure that all the documentation is available and attached to the ECO, and then he will either approve it to let the process continue or reject it so that that work will get forwarded to him so he can attach it to the ECO. Now in this case, when we look at the performer, we're using a type of constant because we don't have to select who this is going to. We know it's going to the ECO administrator, so we're going to point directly to the ECO admin approval list. Now we come to the vote, approve, or reject step. This is the real approval portion of the flow. Again, we see the function name, workflow, standard, vote for, result type, and the standard approval message. And here we're going to focus on the performer region. Again, we're using the type of item attribute and the value of approval list name. This is identical to the standard approval notification. The next step in the workflow process is the MEI actions complete, and this is really the first place where we're looking at the key to this whole solution, which is using the voting approval function. Again, we can see down there, vote for result type. In this case, we're going to modify the message. And in this case, now we see in the subject line that we have the ECO and the ampersand change underscore notice, which will put the ECO number in the subject line. And we've also said, are the MEI actions complete? So now we're using the voting process really to send a notification to tell somebody they have work to complete. And when we look in the body of the message, it again says the ECO and the number has been approved. Please complete the MEI actions. We also notice the ampersand ECO underscore description, which will take the description off of the ECO header and place it in the either the email or the notification if you use the notification list, so people will know right away what this engineering change is all about. Again, we'll focus on the performer region and see that the item attribute type is used and the value is attribute 3. Again, that's the approval list stored in the third flex field on the ECO header. And again, we're using the require all votes. And notice now that we used to have approve and reject. Now we just have complete, because we're not asking for approval here. We're just saying, here's some work to get done. Did you complete it? And that is the magic of routing the work around with this workflow. The next step is the cost accounting actions, which is performing the cost roll-up to look at the impact these changes had on the cost. Again, in the function name, we're using the voting method, vote for result type, and we have a custom message called cost accounting actions complete. Again, you can see in here that the subject and the body have been customized to tell the cost accountants that this ECO has been approved and they need to do their cost accounting work. Again, focusing on the performer region, we're now pointing to the fourth attribute in the ECO descriptive flex field. And that one also was using the complete method. The next step here is the ECO administrator wanted to be notified when the cost accounting was complete. So now we're just sending out a notification. We're not asking for anybody to vote, so therefore the function is null. And again, we have a custom message just saying that the cost accounting actions have been completed for the specific ECO. And focusing on the performer region again, since we're just notifying the ECO administrator, we're using a type of constant and pointing to the ECO admin approval list.